Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode of Chariots of the Pods. And it's Pods, not Pod, because that's the reference to the. Never mind. It is I, your host, Adam, joined, as always, by Tyler.
How's it going, Adam?
It's, it's going all right. And also by Jason.
Every quarterback I've ever dealt with this year has betrayed me.
They always will. And then our very special guest star, Justin.
Hi. Growing up, people occasionally called me Jason instead of Justin. So like for half a second I was gonna like reflexively correct and angrily correct Adam, and then I realized, wait a minute, there's a Jason in here. Anyway.
Okay, so I'll call you both Jason from now on.
No, don't do that.
Jason.
Sean.
Alright, and we are here today to discuss Stargate SG-1. Has anyone heard of the show?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good. And we are reviewing the second to last batch of season 1 episodes. We're getting pretty far into this. These episodes: Singularity, Cor-ai, Enigma, and Solitudes. In that order, because that's apparently the order they aired in, not necessarily the order they were produced in. You can count it either way. This is the way we're counting it because I say so. And if that clears that up, we can start. We can start with season 1, episode 14, Singularity. Quick summary: the SGC builds a telescope on a planet.
Observatory.
Thank you. I lost the word. On a planet, everyone dies of disease except for a girl. Girl has bomb inside of her when they bring her back, and they don't explode because of Carter's maternal instinct.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like the Hurt Locker. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the episode where they play us like a damn fiddle. There, I got the reference out of the way immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. This is where I assume Metal Gear Solid got it from.
The idea of stuffing a bomb in a living person and sending them to wherever existed before Metal Gear Solid.
Well, I wasn't even talking about that. I was just making a joke about that line. But now that you mention it, yes. Thankfully, the people or the writers of Stargate SG-1 had the wherewithal to not make it a vagina bomb, which I appreciate.
My understanding, it seemed like this was something that was planted in her and then grew first, because they did that ultrasound and didn't find it, and then at some point they say it wasn't there 2 hours ago.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I think like the whole thing was that it was basically they did something that made it undetectable to pretty much all of the stuff that they currently had, and it only emerged and started growing after she was went through the Stargate. I guess it like reacted to the Stargate. I'm not sure if it was proximity or it seemed like it was a proximity thing.
Yeah. So what you're saying is they basically ripped off Fox Die from yet again the Metal Gear Solid series.
So this episode would have aired about a year before Metal Gear Solid came out.
Oh.
Was it MGS 198?
Yeah, this episode was 97. The way I always interpret it is there's probably some nanomachines involved, as always.
Yeah, and they have shown nanomachines before in this show, so.
Yeah, so they put some nanomachines and Naquita in this girl's body. I guess she was unconscious, didn't remember any of it somehow. Killed everyone with some kind of bacterial infection. Waited for the SGC to bring her back to the Stargate. That energy, I guess, activated the nanomachines or something, and they started coalescing the Naquita into the bomb in her chest. And then being close to the Stargate was like the trigger for it, so they just had to move her away from the Stargate to deactivate the bomb.
Yes, but they didn't necessarily know this.
No, they just put her down like a nuclear testing shaft.
No, they straight up just put her in a deep hole where she can't kill anyone, and they assume that she's going to explode.
Yes.
Well, It's better than them throwing her all like off a bridge, much like in the Hurt Locker.
I mean, that wouldn't make if it's a large explosion, that wouldn't make a huge difference. You know, you
Yeah,
would
if it's
still,
a nuclear bomb, that would make a difference. But a thing that is 30 floors deep, like a concrete bunker 30 floors deep, might contain it. Hopefully.
Yeah. Did they ever say how big the explosion was gonna be?
They said it would be roughly a nuclear bomb size, which I want to be clear, there are multiple different sizes of nuclear bomb, but general audiences don't need that.
Yeah, there's about 3 orders of magnitude up and down the nuclear bomb spectrum.
Yeah, there's like the low end that's actually been used against people, which we don't want to discuss here, and then there's like Tsar Bomba, which was so terrifying the Russians were like, we're never exploding that again.
It will eventually be established much later that Naquita bombs have a big boom, but they haven't gotten there yet. In fact, this is the first episode where they name drop Naquita. We can now talk about Naquita, guys.
yeah, I did notice that they did that. That's the Stargate material you said.
Yeah, that's the fancy fake material that allows the Stargate to exist.
So it's like palladium in that it can explode, but only if you do certain things to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And apparently, when you mix potassium together with Naquita, that's what causes the boom, which is fascinating, but we'll never hear of that ever again being a thing.
Just don't build the Stargate next to bananas.
Isn't potassium a pretty reactive substance, actually?
Yeah, that's why they put that in there. That was like the sci part of the sci-fi. Which I guess good on the episode writer, who is Robert C. Cooper. Oh, one of the showrunners wrote this episode. So yeah, good on them for that.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know. Did you guys like? I would say like this is obviously a Carter episode, right?
Very, very clearly. a card.
Yeah,
It's very
mostly.
clearly a Carter episode, but I don't know. How did you guys like this, like overall, in terms of like, did you think this was a good Carter episode, or I mean, I think it's better than the first Carter episode we got.
Yeah, it's significantly better, but it's still like,
Still deeply plays into Carter woman.
yeah, like sometimes fiction plays into this whole maternal instinct trope, and I'm like, people in general mostly just have an instinct to protect the young. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's like a maternal instinct thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If you, as someone, as a straight male, there's still something vaguely misogynistic about that. Maybe someone, maybe an actual feminist could refute me on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm not qualified to tell you one way or the other.
I do think that like leaning on maternal instinct is a bad trope. Like that's just, why don't you just
Yeah.
say she wants to protect this kid?
Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense. Like if we're being perfectly honest, I'm pretty sure anyone else would have done something similar in terms of like protecting that kid, with maybe not so much the last bit, but I don't know. I feel like they were trying to make a point about Carter. I'm just not sure if it necessarily lands in a way that makes sense, in a way that's not just like haha stereotype.
Also, keep in mind that this is the next episode after Hathor.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, big improvement.
Thematic whiplash.
Yeah.
One might say.
Part of me wonders if this episode would have been better if you substitute Carter for Daniel. Because it seems like through these early episodes, they're establishing Daniel is the character that is the moral compass of the group. He's the historian, the humanitarian. He's the guy that's so concerned with people's rights and well-being.
Yeah, and we do see that in this batch of episodes at least one more time, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like they kind of tried to position Daniel in that role too, because like he was actively saying like, "Hey, I'll make sure the kid's good too." But it was more so just, I guess the kid really attached herself to Carter,
Not the first
Which-
person they pick up on an alien planet who just gloms onto Carter.
Yes, I mean, like, if we're being fair, the first person who like made eye contact with her would have been Teal'c, and he was just doing his grousing face. So, like, I can understand not latching onto him, but still, I think this episode would have been much funnier if Teal'c was the mommy. Is what I'm saying.
That would have been much better. I mean, Teal'c is a father theoretically. He's you would think he would be good with kids. Also, just remember O'Neill's whole thing at the beginning of the show is that he's sentimental about children because of his
Yes.
son,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I guess he's not that way anymore.
But he had to stay back and look at the stars. Okay, to clarify, he didn't really he didn't know about the bomb until pretty
Yeah,
late
no
in
one-
the episode.
Yeah, no one knew about the
Wasn't
bomb.
there.
Though I think they were like the first people to figure it out, right?
Yeah, he thought that little girl was going back to just stay with some safe people, and he was going to take his opportunity to look at a black hole, which, as we found out during this episode, he's secretly a space nerd.
Yeah. But that checks out with like the very first episode of this series where they find him stargazing, right? So
Yeah, which I hadn't thought about.
I'm just trying to think like on is this like the first like nefarious plan we've gotten from the Gold?
The first nefarious plan. It
Like, does this count?
as the first
It's definitely
scheme.
nefarious, and it's definitely a plan.
Yeah, it's definitely a scheme.
I think this is the first time the Gold have taken action to actively attack Stargate Command, if that's what you're asking.
After,
Yeah.
like,
Since
first
the early
episode.
bits, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first Wile E. Coyote-ass scheme they enact. First of many. Which, I mean, I have all kinds of technical qualms with this episode. But yeah, going from, like, Hathor, which, at least thematically, is trying to promote women in the military. And that it's trying. That seemed to have been the intention. To this single unattached woman needs to be better about being a mom, or like I don't know. There's a weird like thematic whiplash between these two episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. But at a certain point, after watching something like Hathor, just something that's competent is like a massive breath of fresh air, right?
Basic
Like-
competence, and also
Like,
something that turns into a 90s medical drama for like 10 minutes in the middle.
That is true. Yes.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, ER was very popular in the 90s.
Is it still going on, or did it end?
Oh, it did a while ago.
Okay. I just
So-
assumed it's one of those things that's on forever, like Grey's Anatomy.
It was on for like 15 years.
Do you guys like this? What's her name? I forget her name already.
Cassandra?
In my defense, it's been a while.
Cassandra?
Sure.
I mean, the child actress didn't have, as always, that didn't have much to work with, and they'll eventually get over bringing in child actors every other episode. They'll eventually stop doing that.
I think she did a good enough job portraying the character of a scared little girl.
I looked her up. She eventually played a character in X-Men 2. So this
Really?
child actress made it somewhere. She played Kitty Pryde.
Oh, she was Kitty Pryde in like
Really?
X3?
Yeah.
Huh.
It looks like it was just X2.
It was actually because X3 that was Elliot
X3.
Page. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So like a bit background role.
She was there to fall through the ground, I believe.
Oh right,
Is
yeah.
it?
During the mansion invasion scene.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. I mean, also this character will return eventually, but you have forgotten all about her by the time that happens.
Yeah, I guess they do mention that she's staying with the doctor for reasons. My notes say that they also give her a dog.
Yeah, that's just O'Neill at the end. They're in a park, and I guess in scenic, in I guess suburban Vancouver, which again, Vancouver looks like a very lovely city from all
Yeah.
these outside shots in Stargate.
When it's not raining, it's great. Let me tell you.
And yeah, O'Neill just walks up with like a very happy Shiba Inu.
Yeah, I mean they're always happy.
Yeah.
They're just living their best lives.
Here, kid, here's a dog.
Yeah, I take issue with the weird thing, like, oh yeah, just say you're from Toronto. Like, that's never gonna bite you in the ass, surely.
So in the
That's a fun
show
joke.
notes, it mentioned that Toronto was specifically picked because that's where Amanda Tapping grew up.
So it was like an in joke. Speaking
Yeah.
of production in jokes, that sign at the beginning, which when they go to the planet, which aside
Yeah.
from just like in the fiction, putting a sign there, and digging into that, which I don't think we have time to do because you'd have to. There's a lot to unpack with them putting a sign there.
How is he gonna know where to find things?
I thought the sign was brilliant.
It's a fun gag, but why would you? Okay, no, I'm not getting into that. Anyway, the name of the observatory, the Douglas MacLean Memorial Observatory. Douglas MacLean was one of the set designers on the show, so it was the guy who made the sign, put his name on it. So it's in memory to me.
Yeah, you might as well, right? If you're gonna make this sign, put your name
Anyway,
on it.
that's just a fun in joke.
And on the other side of the sign it says Commanding Officer John Smith.
Yeah, that's
Clearly a placeholder name. I guess they just
didn't know
you know.
that they're going to have a close up of the sign.
Yeah.
They made it. But it's a weird gag. They're getting slightly better with their quarantine procedures.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they immediately, like, as soon as they realize this person's dead and something's up, they start like putting on, PPE.
Except for Tilk.
Well, I mean, whatever. He's like, I am immune. I am grousing. But yeah, they all put on their gloves. Some of them even wash their hands. It's wild.
They have a decontamination chamber, like that you're actually supposed to have when you come back from an alien world.
Yeah, they actually decon them.
Yeah, she's really getting SG Command ship shape when it comes to, like all the bacteria and virus stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, they're getting better at it slowly. The one brain cell in the SGC is working overtime.
I'm just trying to think, like, but the actions that the SGC has taken in this episode, some of them like seem fairly smart. Some of them feel a little messed up in a way. Like, I get, yeah, you do all the quarantine procedures. Yeah, this girl's basically like the only surviving person on this planet. Let's take her out and take care of her. But like when they realize that she has a bomb and that it's basically a time bomb and it's going to explode, the first plan of action is, yeah, send her back and have her blow up there.
I mean, like, what do you do? Like I'm gonna ask the hard question here. What do you do? You can't take it. Like, I understand why it's obviously gonna be a hard decision, and I also understand that like writers are the ones writing themselves in here. But since this is the story we have, if you were in Hammond's position, like, there's not much choice once you try to take it out and it doesn't work, and you've only got like an hour left.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what does the report, like, if that was what ended up happening, what does the report sound like? Like, what is written on that piece of paper?
I mean, the report sounds like we regrettably had to send her back to let the bomb explode on the other side of the Stargate. We
guess.
regret this action. We will hold a vigil in her honor. Yada yada yada. And that's
Yeah.
callous and heartless, but also like
This is
that's
the
what you
military.
would have to do in that situation. And we can't forget, like, this is the military. This is pre 9/11, so like it's the naive fiction military, but at the end of the day, it's still a bunch of men with guns.
Yeah.
I think Hammond has a quote in the episode. It's like, the decision is easy, but dealing with the ramifications of this is not.
Yeah.
Sending the bomb kid back to where she came from is, again, the obvious thing. I mean, after the surgery, of course, they first try to take it out, but then, that doesn't work.
I mean, the more humane thing to do, now that I think about it a little bit, would be it's hard to talk about this in the first place, right? I don't think the show takes it as seriously as I'm taking it, but like the actual humane thing to do would be to put her back to sleep and administer just a slow, peaceful death if you can, and then put her down, and then put her body down in that bunker and let it explode.
I mean,
Like if you're talking about
Mm.
awful things, but like what actually happens in the show, for the record, we should clarify. Make this as clear as possible. What actually happens in the show is that they get her close to the Stargate, and it causes the bomb in her chest to start deteriorating faster. When it deteriorates to a certain point, it'll explode. And she has a reaction to this. She goes into a coma again, and has like an attack. So they bring her back away from it, thinking that she's reacting with the Stargate, which is what she's doing. They can't take her through the Stargate because the closer they get to it, the closer it gets to exploding. So they decide to take her to an abandoned nuclear bunker, which is like 30 floors underground. So they take her to the bottom of that. They're going to leave her there and let her explode there. When Carter realizes that the further away she is from the Stargate, the better she gets. And then they realize that the bomb's not going to explode if she doesn't get near the Stargate. Problem solved with the magic of 90s TV fiction writing.
I mean, I guess I would say that they figure it out.
They don't so much figure it out as
as like.
Well, no, because she's leaving, and then she realizes it at the last second and turns around. That's the implication. At least that's what came across to me.
I mean, my implication was that she couldn't let that girl die alone.
Yeah, that was Carter's like initial emotional reaction on the elevator, is that it's inhumane, just leave the kid down there, and she's attached to the kid because they had like 2 or 3 scenes together.
Yeah.
So she goes down and is with the kid. Is like, well, I'm going to blow up with her. And then
the kid doesn't blow up.
It just doesn't blow up. But the bomb's still there. Like, what are they? You know what?
I think they explain that away. They say that, like, essentially, like, as she's further away from the Stargate, the smaller it gets, and then eventually her immune system just takes care of it.
Yeah, they mentioned that at like the very end.
But thinking like filtering the Naquita out of blood, like in a different state.
So fly her to Florida.
Sure. I mean, I will say this, like, rather than getting into like the weird like connotations of like, oh, is this like the maternal bullshit or not? I still really like this sequence of events, like the way it plays out, like the way that the actors portray these characters. I think they do a very good job. Like they're obviously trying to tug at your heartstrings, and I think that they do a very good job of it.
Yeah, they do a good enough job. I agree. It's a good episode overall.
Yeah, and I will say this, from like a lore perspective, this just makes the Gold seem even more sinister. If, galactic conquest and enslavement wasn't enough, here they are using underhanded tactics where they're using a little girl as a bomb, and they have no qualms about eliminating an entire planet's population.
Yeah, almost as if, like, a certain race called the Nox should realize that these people are dicks or something.
Yeah, almost as if the more powerful factions out there in the galaxy should go and, deal with the Gould.
Yeah, like, maybe do something. But, we'll get to that eventually, I assume. I'm not even sure.
There's more to follow. So, does anyone have any other thoughts before I go off on my...
Yep. So I got 3 things. One, this is the first time in a while that Daniel Jackson has sneezed as a result of gate travel, so they reminded us of that. And 2, I think this is the first warehouse episode, Borgmaster. If you go
the interior of the observatory?
Yes. Because if you looked at the roof, it comes to like a pitch. What observatory has that type of roof?
Oh, so they just use like a corner of the warehouse.
Right, right. And you never see the full telescope, just the part where, you look into it.
Okay, then I wonder where they filmed the establishing shot of the observatory building.
Yeah,
Hmm.
not sure. And the last thing I wanted to point out is during the time where Tilk and Jack O'Neill are at the observatory just looking at the black hole, we get some exposition from Tilk about a Goa'uld named Nerti and kind of how nefarious he was and how this god Nerti and Apophis had qualms in the past. Um, we will actually get a chance to meet Nerti. I don't think it will be this season, but I think it's either in season 3 or 4. But it was a little Easter egg the show writer dropped in here that this Goa'uld exists, and this particular Goa'uld likes to experiment on humans, shall we say?
He's
A
not
real
the first
motherfucker,
Gould
if you
we've
will.
met who does that.
No, but it's the only one that's still alive. I guess that we know of. Yeah, Nearty will show up when you least expect it.
Yeah, and Till talks about Nerti as a he, but as we'll find out later, it's actually a she. So I wonder if they hadn't fully written out the character yet, or if they just made a last-minute decision to change it from a he to a she.
The ghouls
There's always a chance
are
that
easy to do like that because they like to jump around between bodies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
there's
was about
that,
to
and also
say.
there's a chance that Teal'c might just not know the difference.
What is he, Goku?
Yeah, like I do believe Tilk knows the difference between a man and a woman.
Sometimes I'm not so sure. The way he's just grousing at everything.
He has a son. He must know something.
Yeah, he's got it.
I'm willing to bet that she
We're
had
gonna
more to
make.
do with it than him.
Are we gonna make a Goku joke again?
No. I think we'll hit our quota too early if we do that.
Yeah, too much
Uh,
Goku.
there's too much Goku in this show. Also, when O'Neill and Teal'c are hanging out in the observatory, and O'Neill is explaining what a black hole is to Teal'c, Teal'c should know.
Yeah,
He's he's been to space. He's been on spaceships before.
But
They
he
should know what
doesn't
black
know
holes
how.
are.
He doesn't even know how the technology that he uses works.
Ah, okay.
yeah. They did
Yeah.
establish that pretty early on that he kind of just knows about things. He doesn't understand any of it.
Yeah, he knows, he is taught how to shoot at things and how to kill things, and that is what he needs to know. So that is what he was taught.
Christopher Judge seemed disinterested during that scene, which is pretty funny. All right. So the real question,
Mhm.
the real question, that entire building was that built entirely by SG-7? Was it just those 4 guys stood up that entire building, poured the concrete, brought in the prefab stuff, like hand trucked, like all of that equipment out there?
I mean, mobile military bases are a thing that are like, they seem pretty big and fully featured, and then you realize they're actually just, put together very quickly, made to be that way. I don't think 4 guys can do it.
Just a
But you could
prefab
definitely,
building.
but yeah, you could definitely like get those. It's basically a prefab building. You bring the parts through and then put them together when you're there. We've gotten pretty good at making
Here's to do
those.
that.
So
Well,
now,
I mean,
bringing a giant fucking telescope big enough to look at a black hole, bringing that through the Stargate, maybe is implausible. Bringing that down the hallways, like here's the bringing it through the Stargate and getting it to where you need it to go, isn't really a problem for me. The logistical problem for me is getting all that stuff through the tunnels underground to get it to the Stargate, because those are made for dudes with rifles to run through, not for giant construction equipment.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for SG-7. Apparently, this team, their specialty was like actually science. They weren't like one of the SG teams that were like, oh shit, something bad's happened, give them big guns and have them go fix the problem. So apparently these guys were actually scientists.
Which makes sense for them being at that observatory of the planet. But I'm talking about building the thing in the first place. Like, you need like a construction platoon, like a construction company to go and stand up one of those, and
So-
just getting all the stuff through it. Like again, as Justin said, into the SGC through the Stargate, and all the logistics involved.
Yeah. I don't want to go too far into spoiler territory, but in later seasons, we get to see other SG projects around, the known universe. And I do think it's established Stargate Command does bring in like civilian contractors and scientists to do their various bidding. So I could see a world where they have, a bunch of well-trusted, like contractors or military service members that they send through the gate who just specialize in engineering projects.
Just to go to the Army Corps of Engineers, Heyman calls him up, says, "Hey, I need a construction company, like permanently for my base in the middle of this mountain. Don't ask questions or else."
Yeah.
Do you think they blindfold them when they put them through the gate, all the private contractors?
I
Here, just
imagine
go down this very dark tunnel. Don't worry about it.
I imagine those guys have like some crazy level of security clearance that they have to obtain and then maintain.
See, that's the thing. I got crazy security clearance. Like,
Oh.
I'm one of those, like, I work for a contractor that does construction, that I could literally work on Canadian government buildings or see Canadian government buildings. Like, I think I have like the clearance to go to, like, what is it? Like,
The Canadian Area 51.
no, like embassies overseas. Like, so if I wanted to like price something at the embassy in America, like I have the clearance to do that. So it's not nearly as hard to get that stuff as you think it is.
Yeah, security clearances aren't that hard to get, really. But I guess they'll go to the kinds of contractors they would eventually use in like Iraq and Afghanistan, of like the same people that can stand up a Burger King in less than 24 hours anywhere in the world are probably the types of contractors they would want.
Speaking of which, why didn't they erect a Burger King at this planet? Maybe that would have solved everything.
That would have blown the minds of all of these, I'm guessing, like medieval level farmers.
Listen, if this were a real thing, and it got out, I guarantee you that Burger King, McDonald's, whatever, would immediately be in the front line to say, we're going to introduce these people to capitalism.
Yeah, but why would they? It's like, well, oh yeah, fine. Give me your weird heads of corn.
Because
like,
if you can establish a McDonald's right then and there, and then introduce capitalism with the American dollar or whatever as the main currency, suddenly you've got a whole lot more to work with.
Spreading the dollar through the galaxy would be a massive headache for Alan Greenspan.
God, that would be such a...
Yeah,
Gold, what gold? There's money to be made. The gold aren't real. You have nothing to fear.
Turns out we were the Ferengi this whole time.
Always were.
Okay. There's a lot of implications with this episode, in every way. But we need to move on to season 1, episode 15. Unless anyone has any last words.
Nah, I got nothing.
Okay, good. Season 1, episode 15, Cor-ai, in which they go to a medieval planet. Teal'c is arrested for war crimes, and everyone learns the power of friendship.
One very specific person,
except for Shackle, who gets knifed.
Yeah, who is sort of no longer appearing in this series.
Yeah. It was nice to bring him back just to get insta stabbed.
Yeah. This is an interesting episode. I mean, it's your standard issue, trial episode, but I think they do a good job of it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
to me, go ahead.
we will doubtlessly get to this question, so go ahead.
Well, I was just going to point out, in my book, this is the second episode that really touches on, kind of Earth American morality versus weird people in space morality. This episode, I thought, touched on a subject that was a little bit less intense. So if you remember all the way back to episode 3, Emancipation, where they went to the planet where the Mongolians lived, and they had the right to literally own women, and women had zero rights. This episode just touched on, hey, is a person guilty until proven innocent, or innocent until proven guilty?
That's what they're trying to do,
mean,
but
I feel like they edge closer to the Nuremberg defense.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this. This turned into Nuremberg for Teal'c, which is just following orders, a legal excuse. That's what the legal drama turned into here, which is a weird vibe to have.
Yeah. I ultimately they didn't come out in favor of the Nuremberg defense, because ultimately Teal'c is like, I committed these crimes and I deserve to stand trial for them.
Yeah, that wasn't the actual argument that Teal'c was making.
Yeah, I'm glad they realized what they were writing and sidestepped this issue. Once again, when you're a writer, you have to realize that you don't have to write the thing you're writing.
You don't have to do it. You can easily just not write that.
You don't have to do any of this. You could have just wrote Hathor again.
But no, I do think it's an interesting episode. It's a good one. Ultimately, I do think they kind of I think they chicken out at the end of it with the way they resolve it. They go to the whole, well, he rescued me, so I guess I got to be kind to him now thing. And fine, 100%. But you had so many other interesting ways to handle this.
They got to something. They got to do something morally ambiguous and said, "Ah, crap," and hit the eject button by having the serpent guards show up.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think they do a good job explaining, how can I put this? Yeah, they do a good job explaining why the things went down, how they went down. It's sort of they kind of hint at how these people are at the beginning, where they show up and everyone's just gone. So I guess that's the way that these people more or less try to stay safe. Is that whenever someone shows up out of the Stargate, they all just piece the heck out. They just run in different directions into caves where they're hard to find.
Yeah, that part didn't make sense to me. So
I mean, as a society, that's a rough thing to deal with all the time, right? But
but also, why build your town around the Stargate?
Exactly. Why wouldn't you just pick everything up and move far, far away from the Stargate?
Also, more primitive civilizations than them figured out that you can bury the Stargate before. So
yeah, but I'm willing to say that these people just aren't too bright.
Okay, yeah,
sure,
yeah, I guess that works. Because I mean, the thing is, they're going to other planets, and planets are big.
Yeah. Usually
nonsense. Every planet takes place in 3 square miles. That's the only area you get.
So shouldn't there be plenty of people who just fucked off away from the Stargate over the centuries?
Probably, but
so
they're not these people.
Just the idiots who stick around the Stargate?
Yes. I mean, let's be honest. These people are I'm just being real here. These people don't act in the brightest of ways, right? When they're being explained how things can be fair, or how they can't be fair in the way that they're doing things, they just kind of look at them confused. It's really, you can't put 2 and 2 together here? Maybe the person who would be the most angry about this isn't the person who should be the judge? Are you guys serious?
That part isn't the dumb part for me. There have been different ways of. There have been different ethical systems throughout history in different parts of the world, to where yeah, you could write that in, and it's like yeah, this is a uh
I mean, Daniel even says at one point it's actually very Talmudic, which I don't know if that's true or not, but
I mean, it's definitely very like Babylonian. You know, that's how a lot of ancient societies will dealt with things, eye for an eye. So that part isn't the dumb part because, like, oh yeah, it's like an ancient culture where they just see the ethics of this differently. Oh no, the dumb part is like actually living near the Stargate at all when guys come through and just kidnap and kill people
Yeah.
regularly.
They literally call it the circle of woes. So, wouldn't you
Yeah.
want to get away from that source of woe?
maybe just bury it.
Yeah.
Once again, they're not too bright.
Also, why is the one building in this settlement a courtroom?
Yeah, it's also the same room
they sort of
where
they sort
Poppy
of
died.
touch. They sort of touch on that when they when somebody asks that girl like, "Where do you live? Where do you sleep? Where is your personal quarters?" Basically, and she like has no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, right, because I'll just live in caves when they're not out and about. Yeah, I mean, this society isn't meant to be a society. It's meant to be a Xena set that they wander into, and then a courtroom
Yeah.
drama happens.
Yeah,
Yep.
with the costumes to suit, to be honest.
Yeah, probably because like Hercules had wrapped up by this point, right? So they probably could get like those outfits for cheap, you know, trucked up from Hollywood.
Is that where they got those sweet ass looking crossbows?
Oh, I hope so. Okay, so I will say that scene, that part in the beginning, the crossbow versus MP5 stare off between O'Neill and the one guy, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Where they're like point blank with each other about crossbow at O'Neill, and O'Neill's pointing MP5 at the other guy, and they're just staring each other down.
I'm not sure how effective a point blank crossbow would be.
It's be pretty effective.
Enough, probably.
Yeah, it'd be effective enough for you to be scared of like what would happen if you pulled the trigger, no matter what weapon you might be holding.
Sure.
But that was a cool moment, I would say.
Yeah. How did you guys like the explanation as to why Teal'c killed this man's father?
It's
Uh,
kind of
okay.
like I get it. It's kind of hokey though. I'm glad they. It's all right, I guess.
I'm
it's
just
a
trying
good-
to think like I want to know what was old man no leg thinking at that time, because he was like reaching out, like what was going on in his head there?
I don't know.
Was it like a
and
damn?
while he's separated from the others, yeah. You know what? They probably shot that in a real hurry.
Yeah,
I do
it
think that
feels kind of like just sort of
right.
like a random explanation as to why this would have happened.
I do think it's really silly the whole if one of us doesn't make it, none of us make it thing. Like, yeah, that's not how human nature works. Everybody would be running for their lives whenever the guy would show up.
And if a member of your society only had one leg and you knew he couldn't run very fast, again, wouldn't you kind of just like pick up and move your society away from the Stargate?
Or like have it so that like the children and the elderly and the infirm didn't go to the settlement with the Stargate in it. It's like, yeah, you stay in the caves.
Yeah, those would all be smart moves,
Yeah. And
but unfortunately,
poor space Tiny Tim would still be alive.
well, this would be Space Big Tim,
Yeah, he was a
old man Tim, if you will.
Well, just because he gets old doesn't mean, he's no longer Tiny Tim.
When you're like at least 5 feet tall, you're no longer tiny. I'm sorry.
Well,
I didn't measure this man's height. I had no way of doing so, but I assume he was around 5'6", maybe 5'6" to 5'9" ish. I don't know.
Well, at least they didn't go to the planet where Apophis had ordered Teal'c to burn down an orphanage. So that
That's
would have
true.
been way more awkward.
Yeah, but then who would have remembered it because all the orphans are dead.
That's true. Yeah.
Now,
I
one
do
orphan
appreciate how the man
survived
kept
the
his
fire.
father's
Never.
cane. I'm not sure what use it is. Not
I
sure
do
many
think-
people are one-legged.
I think it's hilarious how he happened to have his father's cane in his hand at the exact right moment. He just goes, "Remember this?" and then he presents it out of nowhere.
Well, no, I think he had someone bring it to him. Like after they saw Teal'c, he had someone run off and grab it and run back. He was
Go
like,
get the
"Remember
thing."
this?" And then Teal'c remembered the cane specifically because I guess it was traumatizing for Teal'c.
Yeah. How would this episode have gone if Teal'c just had a shit memory and was just like, "No, I straight up just don't remember that."
Is it? Yeah, if he was like, "Hey, that was just a Tuesday for me, man."
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of like that at first. Like, I don't remember you. And then
He's
he shows
like-
him the cane, and Tilk is like, "Okay, I remember you."
It's like, do you even know how many atrocities I committed in my life?
Yeah.
But
And
for
they actually make
me,
a point of him like saying that to O'Neill.
Yeah.
Like, I have committed so many atrocities in the name of Apophis. Like, you have no idea.
That
And
or
then
Tilk
and-
just denies and be like, the guy you want is Shekel.
that's and then once the actual courtroom drama starts happening, it gets into the whole Nuremberg defense, and that's a weird vibe.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
what like that's
they-
what
they- again, they edge away from it. They seem to understand what they're writing there, but like, also, I don't know how you write this episode without at some point saying, "Well, you were under orders," and then acknowledging that, and then figuring out how to write around it.
And I mean, the fact that the fact that it's O'Neill who really goes in on that aspect, considering he's like an old Spec Ops guy who's done a lot of Black Ops stuff. Like Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah.
Grizzly Mason.
Yeah, famous historical documentary about the Cold War, Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yes. So him really latching onto that defense makes sense in character because he's probably also done some shit.
If someone were to dig up his skeletons, that'd probably be the first thing on his mind.
Yeah, don't ask him what he did in Yugoslavia in the early 90s.
Jeez.
So that makes sense for O'Neill, and then Carter just kind of going along with it, and Daniel being like, I want to learn about this culture. And so, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing that he keeps doing too. He's like, "Tell me about your culture."
So it's like an adventure game. He's walking up to everyone.
When does ZP get to play the 90s adventure game based on Stargate starring Daniel Jackson?
Oh,
Does that actually exist?
No, it doesn't.
No, but it would
Oh.
be.
It'd be
If you
great.
want that, if you want the
The
straight to
scum
DVD version of that vibe, it's probably there somewhere. And probably more racist than you want it to be.
because it's made in Germany or something. Yeah, and of course, like Teal'c just immediately submitting to trial, which that it had vibes almost like that Avatar: The Last Airbender episode where Aang goes on trial, where it's like, yeah, he can just leave whenever he wants to. He has the power, but he's willingly submitting to this. So Teal'c's like Aang. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think they're trying to show that he actually like this is them more or less hammering down the fact like that he straight up feels guilty for what he did in the past.
Yeah,
And then
like the end of this episode is kind of well, we'll get to it actually.
And then there's the scene between Hammond and O'Neill, which,
Yes.
hoo boy, it's. I wrote down my favorite part here, where
I
Hammond
think I know
says
what this is.
the United States is not in the business of interfering in other people's affairs. And O'Neill goes, "Since when?"
Yeah.
I do think that, and he's like, "Since this administration," and I'm like, there has never been an administration that was not interested in dealing with foreign affairs.
Yeah.
Imagine if
known isolationist Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Imagine if they had found oil on this planet or on any planet.
No isolation.
No, we would be there in a heartbeat.
A wild scene.
Like as soon as we found it, an oil baron on the other side of the galaxy would have dollar signs in his eyes before he even knew what it was about.
They have Starbucks, Mickey D's, Nike shoes.
Boy, that's a weird scene. I mean, probably wouldn't have been that weird at the time because that was a trope in the '90s for the military.
I guess.
But would not have aged well very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing I could tell you is that there was, I guarantee you, in that era, there was absolutely people that did think that that administration was more or less hands off in world affairs, even though that wasn't the case.
Oh yeah, yeah, there were.
Um,
Yeah, there were.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the general handles this like in the way that you would expect a military person to handle it.
Yeah, Hammond does the obvious thing of no, we're not going to send multiple strike teams through the gate to terrorize these medieval peasants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you know how much money those extras cost?
At least like $8 an hour. So
It was 1997, $5 an hour.
and also like the argument that Teal'c isn't an American citizen, so they don't have the duty to go get him.
yeah, I mean that's a technicality, I guess.
Which I mean, that's just telling me that they need to get Teal'c an SSN.
Or at least
Do
a
they?
green card.
Do you think they even pay him?
No, I don't think.
I'm not convinced they do.
Do they pay Teal'c? He's not even being paid.
I think they just pay him in various hats.
What do we all think of Tilk's outfit at the end of the Cassandra episode? Now that you brought up his hat,
it's cool. It's good. I like it. I
good.
approve.
Yeah,
It's a good outfit. It's a good fit.
It's better than the last outfit by far.
We'll do a ranking of Teal'c's casual wear at some point.
Yeah. This is number one so far, and the one from
Fire and Water?
Weird Star Child Crystal Man is number
Oh.
2.
And then Fire and Water's number 3. Y'all didn't like the one at Daniel's wake.
Yeah, that hat was just silly. Like it was funny. I liked it because it was silly, but it's not a good outfit.
Okay, does anyone have anything else to say? Oh
I mean,
yeah,
Shackle ate it real good.
oh yeah, Shackle died immediately. Yeah, because just we're resolving the impasse by having the Gould attack, and not even like a full attack. Just it's like a dozen Jaffa like come in and start terrorizing the planet for no reason, and the first Prime is there for some reason, so that Teal can stab him real good.
Yeah. It works out swimmingly, really.
It does.
yeah. Again, I think it's a cop out for this whole plot.
Yeah. We
Like
resolve
they don't
an
find a way
episode.
to they don't find a way to convince this guy. Come on.
I mean, they do find a way to convince him, and that way is that Teal'c saves a bunch of people there. So
yeah, Teal
that
throws himself
lets the
in front of
guy
a shot.
Mhm.
Like he takes the staff blast for some random
I still think it's disappointing.
people. It's very disappointing. I mean,
how else would you do it?
I mean,
I-
you'd
could-
have to do the whole episode differently. Like you'd have to approach the topic of Teal'c's war crimes from a different
Yeah.
angle.
I don't even think you necessarily have to do it differently. Like, just he almost comes to a defense. Like there's a point where the guy is like, you've
Oh yeah, it's like you have a good point, but
like you have a good point, but also my dad's still dead, so I'm sorry, you're gonna die. I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't know. It just feels like the cheapest solution to the problem you've set up.
Yeah, and like the incompetent part of it is when you look at the Star Trek courtroom episodes, which they certainly were looking at the Star Trek courtroom episodes. There is a right and wrong side of the argument, right? It's usually Picard or Janeway or whoever is on the correct side of the argument usually, and
Mm-hmm.
they go through the courtroom trial. Everyone states their case, but then there is a decision at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they almost come to some sort of statement about something and then they just undercut it completely. Not that this show is necessarily interested in making any sort of highfalutin statement, but I
But
don't
like,
know.
what is the statement they're trying to make here? Then is it like,
I
oh,
don't
you
think
know,
they.
it's
I think they
okay that
realized. I think they had an interesting plot, and they were really good at writing most of it, and then they realized far too late that they didn't have anything. They didn't have a good way to end it, so they just ended it in the most obvious way possible.
I guess they could have. I guess they could have like resolved it in the sense that they convince him, saying like, yeah, like the reason why he killed your father was because he was the slowest moving one, and if he was still around, then more people would get caught, and therefore more people would die.
I think that's
But
a weak. I think that would be a disappointing reason to end it as well. I'm not exactly sure. All I can tell you that is that as a viewer, I was like, I see the gold. I know how they're going to end this, and that was
yeah,
that.
I mean, I will say one thing. I just got reminded of like, there's this line of like him saying that, like them explaining it, and a bunch of people like you could see like the tide of the room sort of changing to a certain degree about around like the other people around rather than the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, I don't remember his name because he's so unimportant to me. Says like
Andy?
will something along the lines of like will you know making him be declared innocent or whatever the heck or sparing his
That will,
life
yeah, that
bring
won't
my
bring
father
back my
back.
dad. Yeah,
And then Daniel Jackson replies no, but he also doesn't reply will killing him bring your father back. Like come on, it's like the
yeah.
easiest retort.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Daniel Jackson isn't a lawyer, or he's smart, but he's
He's
also dumb.
also socially awkward,
Yes.
as are we all.
Yeah. Like if you wanted to play into more in that, like you could have had that line and then make him come to realization, like maybe I'm just letting like anger consume me, sort of thing. But they
Yeah,
don't get
you
around
hit
that.
that route.
They don't go that route. Instead they kill. Uh, I already forgot his name.
They kill Shackle. Bring
Shackle.
Shackle
Yeah,
back
they
to
just kill Shackle. I know what'll solve this. Kill Shackle.
Yeah,
Roll
more
credits.
murder. That's how we solve this problem.
Yeah,
Uh,
but it's okay. This guy deserved it. No.
Yeah, this guy. Screw this guy.
I mean, Shackle's kind of a piece of shit. Like one of the first actions you see him do in this show is kill a woman who was, tending to his wounds. So there's
Yeah,
that.
he sucks. But while we're on the subject of the Nox, are there any last thoughts for this episode?
no.
Probably the least good out of this group of four.
I feel like
see
that's
that.
more a compliment to this group of four than a negative to this episode. Actually,
Agreed.
I like this. I do like this episode. I like all four of these episodes to some degree. I don't think any of them are my favorite. I didn't love any of them, but I found some enjoyment in all of them.
Well, that's good to hear. Because we're now on to season 1, episode 16, Enigma, in which the team finds a bunch of people dying on a volcano planet, bring them back. They're like, "Why'd you bring us back? You're all a bunch of primitives because they're more advanced humans." Shenanigans happen, and the Nox show up to solve the problem,
They sure do.
and everyone leaves.
We also
Yes.
meet Colonel Mayborn.
We also meet Mayborn for the first time, and also Nareem. Both these characters are recurring characters in the show.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
right.
like Nareem?
You don't like Nareem?
You don't like Love at First Sight, man?
No, I don't. He is
You
a.
Space Dump?
I know. No, I don't like him.
I think he's fine. I think that this episode's very funny specifically because this is just a reverse Prime Directive episode.
It is, and that's a very good concept for an episode.
Yeah, it's like, what if the Prime Directive, but we're the fucking rubes?
I mean, isn't that what Q is in your Star Treks?
No, but
Q is something
Q
different.
is not about the Prime Directive. Q is like, let me fuck this shit up.
Okay.
Q is a trickster god. He doesn't have technology. He can just do everything by snapping a finger.
I thought Q supposed to be an actual god. Sorry to go off topic. I thought Q was more like a sufficiently advanced alien kind of thing than an actual god.
God-like being, what your classic GLB.
Yeah, extra dimensional being that has like power to alter reality.
And doesn't have like technology or anything. He can just will stuff to happen, and it happens anywhere in time and space. Their whole race that they can do that. Most of them don't go around like assholes like he does. He just likes messing with third dimensional mortals.
Yeah.
But yes, go look up the godlike beings as a trope in Star Trek. It's a thing.
Yep. Keeps happening too. It's annoying.
Because really, who does mourn for Adonis? No, I'm not going to talk about that Star Trek episode. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, they find these people on the volcano planet. I mean, they get into a volcano. They're like, "Oh, fuck this," and they're like, "Let's leave immediately."
Yeah, which is a smart decision. Yeah.
Which smart move. They find some people dying in the gases, bring them back, and they're like, "Ah, crap! We got rescued by a bunch of savages. This is bad."
Yeah.
And the main guy is Jigsaw from the Saw movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Jigsaw.
Oh,
Which
didn't know that.
I'm blanking on his name, but he was a fun character, like just a real
complete asshole,
like gloomy asshole about everything. And like, I mean, he's right. He's not wrong. He's never wrong about anything, but he's an asshole about it, which makes for a good foil for O'Neill in a few scenes. Because O'Neill's also an asshole about everything.
Yeah,
but
and in his defense, they
kind
keep
of
proving
asshole.
him right. Right? Like, I'm not wrong in this. They essentially keep proving him right in like escalating actions well, not necessarily against them, but like things that keep happening.
Yes. Again, he's not wrong about anything. He's just an asshole about it.
Yeah. Though I will say this, like him doing that thing where like, yeah, we're all going to leave to look at the stars to try and figure out where we are. He could have just done that on his own. He didn't need to send everyone. He did that as a test, and he was basically being a dick about it.
Yeah,
but
Omok. His name is Omok. It's my notes. Yeah, this is also the first episode where we see a UAV. Everyone's favorite.
You beat me to it.
I beat you to it. Yeah, so we get Mayborn, we get Nareem, we get the UAV. The Nox show up again. Tupelo shows up again. Everyone's favorite character.
Sure.
From the Caveman episode, Tupelo. We all remember Tupelo.
We do.
Yeah, he's the guy whose daughter, Caveman Daniel, probably knocked up.
We don't know that just yet, but there's a non-zero chance.
Oh, okay. Now I remember who he is.
Yeah.
Why would you bring him back?
He was available?
He was around.
I do like the reaction to that. Like they're all like, we would gladly share our bountiful farms and chickens and stuff. And the guy's like, are you guys fucking serious?
It's like, are you joking?
Yeah, you're not going to send us to like Anne of Green Gables era. Fuck off.
Something that I appreciated is that like their advanced technology is just a little box that has like only 3 buttons on it. That seems to be like a reoccurring thing throughout the show is, oh yeah, here's this super simple, or no, here's this super advanced piece of technology. All you have to do is hit like a few buttons.
So I want here is a point on that, a to be fair on that, if you will. In 1997, we hadn't consolidated basically every single device in one little thing that fits in your pocket. So I can definitely see that.
If you showed an iPhone to a sickly Victorian child, they would die instantly. But yeah, no,
like people in 1997 hadn't really conceived of like pretty much every digital function being in your pocket in one little thing.
that has no buttons. That has like 2 buttons.
There has like 3 buttons on it, and we'd get rid of those 3 buttons if we could.
Yeah, they keep removing buttons. Actually, we're slowly getting there if you think about it.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Eventually, you're gonna make an original iPod-ish. The original iPod was just buttons. An iPod Nano-ish circle around the middle of your screen to turn up your volume or something.
Oh yeah, you just
sounds like the worst
motion on your screen. Yeah, I know that it would suck, and they'll do it anyway. Yeah,
I just want us to bring back the slide open Blackberries because I want a physical keyboard again. I'm sorry.
Okay, old man.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I am an old man.
You're the reason why these guys rejected our planet.
They're
like, ew, keyboards. You got to use your hands. It's a baby's toy.
Yeah.
All right, I have a couple of subjects that I'll go off on. So everyone can go first.
I don't have tons more to say about this episode, though. It takes to say. I feel like it kind of takes a long time to do anything. I did enjoy it, but
we learned that Sam is a cat person.
Yeah. Also, she no longer has a cat.
Okay, so all right. Okay, look, the cat, Schrodinger the cat. Good name for a cat.
Which is okay. Here's what I have to say about this episode. I wish they hadn't explained the joke. Just take the cat out and say my cat's name is Schrodinger, and then just let it go. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, it's just a cat named Schrodinger. And they sit there and explain it, and I'm like, don't explain it, and then they explain it. And anyway.
At least the context in which they're explaining it was her explaining to someone who had no idea who Schrodinger even to an alien.
I don't care. It would have been so much funnier if they just let it sit. Yeah. And then maybe capitalized on the joke like 6 seasons later. Like have him introduce his cat to someone else and say, my cat's name is Schrodinger, and then they I don't know, have an awkward laugh, and then the person would be like, what are you laughing at? Anyway.
But wasn't the whole point of that sequence was to establish like the Toland like study advanced astrophysics or not astrophysics. Quantum physics like at a very early age, and it's like child's play to them.
Oh, wasn't that
the whole point of that whole interaction?
Yeah. There's that, and there's also Nareem being like, "Oh my god, an animal," because I guess the entire ecosystem on their planet had collapsed decades ago.
Also, I guess as a forewarning to our listeners and everybody else on the panel, get comfortable with Colonel Mayborn because he's in it for the long haul.
Until at least season 7.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be around for a while, but he gets fun. He's a fun shit heel to have around. Okay, but anyway, this cat. So, how does she get the cat on the base? Like, who lets her walk in to the base with that cat?
I assume she just has access to bring whatever. So she's like, I'm bringing that.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. Listen, cats aren't going to tell anyone top secret, stuff.
Okay, but also, so she gives Nareem the cat, and the cat goes with them when they leave.
Yeah. Hey, Adam.
Did she tell him how to take care of the cat?
Most certainly not.
Yeah. So, given what we know of General Hammond and how he runs a military base, are we surprised he allowed a cat on base?
I mean, Hammond probably didn't even know there's a cat there.
Pretty much lets them do anything they want.
I mean, at most, Carter would have told Dr. Fraser, "Hey, I'm going to bring a cat in." She's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Imagine if the aliens had like an allergic reaction to the cat.
The cat. Oh god.
Yeah, actually, there's something I was going to bring up. there's like it's highly likely that they like if you're talking about actual like science and how things work, it's highly likely that all of them would have had a severe allergic reaction to that cat. Because like the most common way to have an allergy to something is to not be exposed to it at a young age.
I mean, they also, if we're gonna go that route, as soon as they brought Cassandra back, she would have died of the flu in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, but she almost died of like explosions, so
I mean,
Yeah.
Cassandra was raised on like an Anne of Green Gables farm settlement on that
Yeah.
planet, so that's probably fine. They
But
just
they're
give her
spreading.
vaccine.
They're spreading. They're spreading so much disease around the galaxy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just like the Spanish conquistadors,
Going full European here.
just spreading the clap across the galaxy. Yeah, I know that planet. Where that makes you old. Everyone there now has gonorrhea somehow.
Oh no.
Well, guys, we don't have to worry about the gold anymore because we kind of killed off the entirety of.
we pulled a War of the Worlds on the Cowled.
Yeah. Yeah. Come to find out, most of the galaxy doesn't have immunity to like chicken pox, so.
Jesus. Unfortunate.
I do like the bit where Omaka and Daniel are outside, and he tries to. Well, he doesn't explain. He tries to say how that communication laser thing works, and Daniel's like, "Oh, it's like folding space," and he's like, "No, that's stupid. Never mind." That was pretty good.
And then they sort of kind of do the Event Horizon explanation.
Oh yeah, just taking a stick and like bending it toward itself, and it's like
except in Event Horizon they use a piece of paper.
Yes. Yeah.
I do think that is a good moment. Like I like the bit where it's like, yeah, you know what? Fine, I'll trust you. Let's show me where these, tree people are, and we'll try to talk to them, figure out what happens.
I mean, the Nox were the right call to begin with. But I guess because they had buried the Stargate, they couldn't get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have not one but two advanced civilizations that are perturbed with the humans from Earth.
Which I guess that's what we get for.
Humans.
Yeah, I mean that's what we get for having the military run the interstellar exploration program.
One of them also just has like apparently puppy love for Carter, so I'm sure he's probably fine with the humans.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely fine with Earth. Not fine enough to stay, of course, because you get Area 51 immediately.
Yeah, that an unfortunate side effect of what's his face showing up.
Of Mayborn showing up, yeah. And this, because this is also the first mention of the NID, right?
Yep.
Tyler? Yeah, okay, yeah. So they're a recurring villain. It's kind of like how in the X-Files, the military were the bad guys and the FBI were the good guys. That's good. That's in Stargate. That's kind of reversed.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Which, by the way, that's like the most unbelievable part of the X-Files is that they're just not both the bad guys.
Yeah, Janet Reno. Oh no. But yeah. So that's something to keep an eye on. Yeah, just a lot of world building, I guess, in this episode.
Yeah.
We will run into the Tolan several times in the future, so just kind of keep them in the back of your mind, and yeah.
Does Schrodinger come back?
Schrodinger, I think, does come back. I mean,
yes, he does.
Yeah, it does come back. Yeah,
good. I'm glad the cat makes it.
Yeah, so the cat makes it for. Yeah, actually, yeah. Does that? You know what, Tyler? I'll ask you offline because I don't remember the episode very well.
I'm pretty sure the cat comes back.
Yeah.
The very next day.
No, but he shows up in a semi-dramatic way, you could say.
Yeah, that one time. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Something to look
Okay.
forward to.
The cat doesn't get hurt.
No,
That's
yeah,
the
it does.
important thing.
Well, I was going to ask you about some. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, the one note that I have, other than the cat, is the reasoning they give for why the Tolan are more advanced than Earth is because of the Dark Ages, and that's not how the Dark Ages worked. That's
I
been
was about to
debunked.
say, yeah, like the medieval. Listen, the years from like 450 something to like 1500 or something were not actually
And also
devoid of technological improvements or anything.
and also that's just Europe
Yeah.
at the same time. So yeah, the whole Dark Ages discourse has been very thoroughly debunked. I mean, it wasn't true then. It's not true now. It's disappointing but of course this is the show premised off of Ancient Aliens, so of course they would have this.
Yeah, but
Sure, but I feel like it was more so just Daniel Jackson's best guess as to what could have caused it, not necessarily that it was the actual like it wasn't the
Yeah.
definitive like this is why. It's like my best
I
guess
mean,
is because they didn't have the Dark Ages.
But
better
Daniel
guess-
Jackson should know better.
Yeah, Daniel Jackson, even in the 90s, they knew better. But, like, a better answer would have been, like, we've been so obsessed with war for hundreds of years that it has hampered our ability to progress or something like that. Or perhaps, our societal structures are not very stable, our empires tend to rise and fall, and that hampers technological progress or something.
Yeah, it could just be a skill issue on our part.
Yeah.
that
guess.
or another good explanation would be is the Tolan at some point just got their hands on some piece of ancient technology. I mean, we've established I think they're called the Ancients were a thing. The
Wait, has it been established yet?
yes,
I think
so
they've mentioned the ancients at some point.
Okay.
remember
the
the
Uranus
the
episode?
episode. It's the I believe it's the brief candle episode where they meet they go to that planet to rescue Ernest.
Oh no, that's the Torment of Tantalus.
Yes,
Something
Torment
different.
of Tantalus.
Yeah.
There they learn about like all the advanced civilizations of the past.
Yeah, but I thought they hadn't name dropped the ancients yet.
Well, I'm just spitballing here, but my theory is Stolen at some point just got their hands on an advanced piece of technology, and that's what kick-started their technological boom.
Maybe there's any number of reasons. We will find more peer and near peer civilizations over the seasons.
Yep.
But yeah, so
That are not as dickish as the Tolan.
well, some are more dickish, but that's for later.
So long as they're not the Nox, I'm fine with it. I mean, I will say this: at the very least, they explained why they're gun shy about sharing any sort of technology, right? Like because it was a mistake they did in the past. They gave technology to like people that weren't ready for it. They waged war so bad that they essentially like killed themselves and doomed their planet in the in at the same time. So
yeah, I
makes
guess they literally blew up their own planet, which
Yeah.
fucked the entire solar system.
They
Apparently.
didn't. I thought they gave it to like people on a different planet in the solar
Yeah.
system,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
those
yeah.
people developed weapons so powerful that it fucked up the Tolan's planet.
Well,
Yes.
it fucked up the Tolan's planet because they blew up their own planet.
Yeah.
Is the way
And
what is
not the
explained.
Tolan planet, like a few
Like
degrees,
3 degrees.
off, like off
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
axis or something.
Yeah,
But-
something along the lines
Which
of
is-
like the
which is-
explosion shifted our axis or something, and we all died.
Which is an absurd power load. Like, in order for that's an absurd amount of power.
Yeah, blowing
You
up planets
you
is
don't
harder than it
easily
looks.
you don't easily knock a planet off of its course.
That's
You
a
have to
very big
have-
boom.
You have to have a massive extrasolar body traveling at exceptional speeds.
Or I guess a very big kaboom.
Yes.
Sure. But I feel like they're trying to paint these people in the same, like, I guess, colors as the Nox. Like, potentially that these people could be more advanced than the Goa'uld, but maybe not necessarily anymore because of what happened to their planet.
Yeah, well, I mean, they find a different planet to settle, but yeah, they're just not in the business of going around killing gods the way we are.
Yeah, that's fair.
Actually, yeah, they haven't killed any gods yet in Stargate.
Not without
I mean,
trying.
they did in the
That's
movie.
Raw.
They did in the
There's Raw.
movie.
Yeah, in the movie,
They
yeah.
killed Ra.
Yeah, they killed Ra pretty good.
And
in the
like
movie.
maybe that whole movie isn't canon, but the fact that they killed Ra definitely is.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm sad that they didn't just have Hathor die in that gasoline tub. That would have been cool.
That is sad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just be patient on that.
Sure.
Yeah. But I will say this. So in this episode, we talk about the whole we won't give you technology because we think you'll do something bad with it. In the future, the shoe's going to be on the other foot, and this is a issue that comes up time and time again, and it's I think it's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if the Nox get their comeuppance, I'm all for it.
No. The Prime Directive is a double-edged sword. Let's just say.
Sure.
That we'll see again. All right. So, any last thoughts on this episode?
More UAVs.
Your wish shall be granted.
I like the idea of the reverse Prime Directive episode. I think it's a cool concept. I think they do a good job with it. I'm now saying that the next Star Ocean game should be not actually like the next time they make a Star Ocean game, they should make it sort of this type of thing where you don't realize it's a Prime Directive episode because you don't even realize it's a Star Ocean game. And there's a late title card 30 hours in where it just says Star Ocean 6, where you thought you were playing a medieval game this whole time.
Aren't they on 7
like
at this point?
Rise?
I think it's on 6.
Yeah, the 6 was lost. I mean, Integrity and Faithlessness is kind of just a fantasy game for the first several hours.
Also,
anyway.
I don't think we're getting another Star Ocean game.
We get one per generation for as long as that studio exists.
Just try. I thought Chariots shut down.
Oh wait, did Chariots shut down?
Either they shut down or they're a shell company at this point, right?
Geez, I need to look that up.
They didn't shut down, but they did have some layoffs. I don't know how severe it was, but
well, I hope Trias can continue to be a thing, so we get a.
They're still doing contract work for Square, so it's not like they're gone.
Okay, yeah.
Like they're in
the last thing they put out was Star Ocean: The Divine Force in 2022.
Yeah, but I mean,
I believe they're a support studio on a bunch of things.
Yeah, they do a bunch of support work for Square on everything basically. Hopefully they'll be able to staff up and do a Star Ocean 7 in like 2030. But anyway, the Sea of Stars out there is not the point of this podcast. It is the Stargate.
Yes, Sea of Stars, a lesser game. I'm sorry.
Shots fired. Okay, any final words about Stargate and Carter's disastrous love life? You know what? Actually, we don't know yet that she has a disastrous love life. Actually, we do know she has a disastrous love life because the first.
I mean, clearly she's got a disastrous love life because she picked up a random alien who's got puppy dog eyes for her, and he gives her some sort of weird kiss box. I don't even know what that is. Like, what was that thing?
An emotional memory cube.
It's like, yo, like hold this and then close your eyes. Like, what do you think she saw? Was it just him like doing a Chippendales dance in her mind? Like, do you think that's what it was?
No, it was feeling the emotion. So it just made her really horny or something. I don't know.
It was a rickroll.
I do like the idea. Like he's like, this was my emotions, and it's like it's just him being super horny, which would explain why she was a little awkward about it after. Like, sure. But I guess she does kiss him after. I don't know.
Yeah. So if we go back to the First Commandment episode, her ex-fiance became like a crazed cult leader, but
yeah, Sam Carter will continue to have a disastrous love life.
Maybe she's the problem.
On the Solitude?
Yes. Speaking of which, our last episode, this go around is season 1, episode 17, Solitudes, in which Carter and O'Neill, through a Stargate mishap, get punted into the middle of Antarctica. Though we don't know that for most of the episode, and they slowly die of hypothermia while Daniel Jackson figures out where they are.
Well, Carter's dying of hypothermia.
I mean, you mean O'Neill's dying of hypothermia.
O'Neill's dying of blood loss.
Blood
Yes.
loss, yeah.
And a punctured
Internal
lung,
bleeding.
apparently.
Yes, internal bleeding.
Yes, a thing you can return from in a month: a punctured lung and a broken rib and a broken leg.
Dude,
He'll
he's
be
back in a
fine.
week.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
On the next episode of Stargate SG-1, I'm totally fine.
All right, so there's a second Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
How did
yeah,
you guys
that,
like that
honestly,
reveal? Like, I thought that was cool.
that's a good. I think that's a good twist. Honestly.
Mhm.
Which means we now get to start the fun franchise-long game of tracking which Stargate is where.
Yeah. My favorite game.
Everyone's favorite game.
Where's that Stargate?
Now that they have a second one, like, are they going to dig it up and like put it in hiding or something, or
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
We'll
Are they
get to
gonna
that.
are they going to forget about it completely?
No. The Stargates will play very significant roles in the seasons yet to come.
On an episode-to-episode basis, it won't matter, but on a season-to-season basis, it will matter. Which is why this is a fun game.
I'll give you a hint. Can I give them a hint, Adam?
If it's not the hint I would give them, then I'll give them that as well.
I'll just say one word: Russians.
Oh yeah, so
Oh,
move on to Russia.
Naturally, it's either the Russians or the Chinese.
This is 90s, so it's the Russians.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we for future seasons we can look forward to Marina Sirtis doing a bad Russian accent. It's great.
Yeah. So this is like the first like major O'Neill and Connor bonding episode, right?
This is the first O'Neill Carter bonding episode. Because I mean, was there any chemistry between them before? Was there room for there to be chemistry between them? I mean, other than the caveman episode where she assaults him.
Yeah. I don't think that one counts.
Well, so back in the first episode when we first met Carter, on their way to the Stargate to go to Abydos, Carter says, "Once you get to know me, you'll like me." And O'Neill replies, "Oh, I adore you already."
Yeah, but that was a very sarcastic tone.
Yeah, but I thought there was a little bit of like, was there a spark there? And then we never got anything more after that.
I mean, they really don't follow up on it at all until like maybe now.
Yeah.
And then they all turn into cavemen, and she does that
Assaults
thing,
him,
assaults him, and then when Hathor does her thing,
assaults everyone, assaults the entire base.
Assaults everyone. The O'Neill part of that is probably the thing that annoyed Carter the most about that whole scenario. Yeah, so like very, very like minor thing there, but now it's O'Neill and Carter stuck in a glacier together, and it's just those two in a room, and so you get some chemistry building. While they really go through it in this episode.
They certainly do. Like I don't know. Those two actors do a really fantastic job playing these characters in this episode. I think that's me putting it even lightly. Like,
yeah, this is definitely Amanda Tapping really gets to act finally.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good character moments. Like her acting is that like all of her acting exacerbated, trying to figure out like why isn't this working? Like that's all really good. Him slowly coming to terms of like, no, turns out I am actually going to die. You need to go off on your own thing. Like that was all really good. Just
the part where she's trying to splint his leg and has no idea how to splint his leg.
yeah,
That whole
him just telling her
scene.
like more or less, please stop. You're like you just need to stop. It's splinted enough.
Yeah, like that was a good back and forth. That was done well.
Yeah, I do like the line like, "Aren't you a doctor?" And she's like, "Not that kind of doctor."
I think there's a
So
scene where, they're exhausted from the first day. They're lying down, and Carter, like, apparently, like, resting on O'Neill's, like, punctured lungs. Like, I appreciate the body heat, but I can't actually breathe.
because they're cuddling up for the warmth. And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like, please get off my broken rib.
yeah. Like it is like kind of lucky that they are more or less in a natural igloo. Anywhere else, and they would have basically frozen to death
Like
pretty
immediately.
freaking quickly.
Yeah.
How did you guys like the start of this episode where like shit's just going down, everything's like Jackson literally flies out of the Stargate at like a breakneck speed.
Oh yeah, they just get yeeted through the Stargate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to start an episode. At SGC, like, wait, there's an incoming traveler, and then the Stargate just vomits people out.
Yeah.
At high
What's the
velocity.
guy's name? Is it like Greg Jones or something?
Oh yeah, Gary Jones playing the
Gary Jones, yeah.
playing the Stargate.
Him just acting like very confused, like what the hell's going on? There's like energy series, like, oh my god, this is horrible.
Oh yeah, this is also the first time we see Dan Shea. Dan Shea?
You mean Sergeant Seiler?
Yes, Sergeant Seiler. This is the first Seiler appearance. Seiler and Gary Jones are the two recurring extras.
Is Seiler the guy who repairs the gate?
Yes.
Yep.
That's his job.
Yeah, okay. I figured.
Basically, whenever something breaks, he's the one that shows up and represents the engineering crew.
Yeah, Seiler's like the angry IT guy that gets called in to fix things, and then nobody remembers his name.
Yeah, and I guess the fun trivia is Dan Shea, the guy playing that, was one of the stunt people on the show. He did the stunt doubling for Richard Dean Anderson a bunch, and he would go on to be stunt coordinator in the later seasons of this show and in Atlantis, and like actual movies. Like he's still working as a stunt coordinator to this day. So props to the stunt team for having one of their guys get a speaking role. But yeah, we'll see more of Seiler. It's a fun recurring character. And of course, Teal'c's just fine, and it's always funny. Everyone gets fucked up, and Teal'c just brushes it off.
Funny enough, he did have his arm in a sling for a little while, which I'm pretty sure the sling changed arms. I'd have to go back and check. I'm not 100% sure this happened, but I'm pretty sure it was on his left arm at the start, and then the next scene it's on his right arm. I'm like, wait, what?
I mean, like if he had a broken arm, it healed in like 5 minutes, but he had the sling just to make the doctor feel better.
Maybe he didn't even know which arm was the broken one. It's like, I feel nothing. We must save O'Neill.
Yeah, so that B plot, it's fine as well. Daniel Jackson is this is the first time where Daniel isn't the one who's missing, and so now he gets to go through it.
Mm-hmm. A nice change of pace for him, to be sure.
Yeah,
I do really love his explanation when he finally figures it out.
So I have a note that I wrote like a minute before he figured it out. And the note is, it would have been very funny if she'd climbed out of the ice and just saw McMurdo Station. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, oh, it's only 50 miles from McMurdo Station.
That's a really convenient spot, because if it had been on the other side of Antarctica, that would have sucked.
Yeah. At some point, someone asked the question, what happens when you dial your own phone number? And I'm like, how many people these days wouldn't know that?
Oh yeah, no, that's a real Zoomer moment for people watching it these days.
Yeah.
Is no one
Yeah.
actually knows what happens when you dial your own phone number.
It usually goes to voicemail, to be honest, nowadays.
Yeah.
I think
But-
it's very funny that he turns to Teal'c and does this, and then as Teal'c looks at
Yeah.
him in confusion, he's like, wrong person.
Yes, no, that's a good gag.
Yeah.
I think it's very funny too that when you think about it, this entire thing could have been, resolved earlier if she had just tried dialing a different number,
Yeah, I was gonna
like
bring
a
that up.
different number
like,
that she happened to know.
because I guess they assumed they weren't on Earth, so because of the way that the coordinates work, they have to figure out like what the symbols would be, but like to get back to Earth from whichever planet they're going to. Right? Isn't that
I
how they
guess.
explained it in the pilot?
Do you reckon she keeps like a phone book of different coordinates in her back pocket or something?
I mean, that's what I'm
Genuine
saying.
question.
Like they would have known the relative coordinates for Earth from that planet because they would have known that before going in. But the relative coordinates from that planet to like I don't know, the caveman planet, maybe not. So maybe that's why she tried dialing Earth again. Yeah, I don't know. It's also I think the Stargate like got locked in after her first attempt, and she had to dig out the reset button before trying again.
Yeah, and eventually she goes, "Oh wait, I forgot to turn it off and back on again."
Well, no,
Yeah, I did kind of laugh at that.
Which as an angry IT guy, have occasionally gone through like a long bit of troubleshooting and then thought, what if I just rebooted? Because sometimes I want to skip that step.
yeah. Well, I mean, she had to dig out the reset button apparently.
Yeah.
It was at the base of the DHD.
Which somehow she did with an ice pick. So geez, her arms.
I
must
thought
be
she did
tired
it
by the
with
end of that.
I thought she did it with like the combat knife in her tool belt,
Yeah, that's what it
with
was.
the
which
K-bar.
also is designed to stab soft flesh, not constantly hack away at ice.
Yeah, because they acted like they were there for several days.
That seemed to be the implication.
Which would they have frozen to death before that? Or I
Not
guess,
in didn't you just make the point that they were in a sort of natural igloo?
no, that wasn't me who said
Yeah, that was me. It's fine.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was a Canadian.
Mhm.
Well, I
Take
think
with that what you will.
in the episode, O'Neill asked if Carter has done like an inventory count of their supplies, and she brings up it's like we got enough food for like 3 days, but we can stretch it out. And then there's a scene in Stargate Command between Daniel Jackson and Hammond, be like, "Hey, it's only been a few days of searching. We have to keep going."
Or yeah,
So-
yeah. They do say it's been several days. Just the
Yeah.
way they edit it. It's
They've basically been gone for 7 days, and like I think that was one of the main points. It took them at least like a full day to repair the Stargate to even try.
to like dig out the Oh yeah, to even go look for them on other planets.
Yeah.
And then they're declared MIA after SG3 has an SG3 moment.
Yeah, I think it's very funny that they call off the search after some dumbass slips in a cave. He's like, "That's enough. I won't risk any more men doing stupid things like falling on some wet land or something." It's like, really? That's what stopped it?
Also, SG3 are Marines. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I have in my notes. It just says SG3 moment.
Yeah.
Actually, I have very few notes for this episode because it's just a good episode.
I mean, it's okay. I feel like there's not much to say about it though. It's kind of like the last episode, even more so than the last episode. Really, I feel like there's 20 minutes of good story here, and it gets stretched out a little bit. It's okay.
I mean, yeah, it's mostly character work.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but it's good character work.
Mhm.
looking, through at this episode through like hindsight, this is definitely just another foundation episode because of the role that second Stargate is going to play in later seasons.
I
But
will say this, like I am surprised that they went with the internal bleeding thing because there's like a next to 0% chance you could survive with internal bleeding for several days. Like even
Yeah.
when they find out where they are, it would have taken a while to get there.
Also, McMurdo Station probably doesn't have the medical facilities necessary to take care of internal bleeding.
You'd be surprised. Like a lot of those places will have just straight up like, like
Full
large
medical suites.
Well, yeah, just like a large medical team because you never know what you could run into out there. And if you don't have the right stuff, then you're just going to die.
But yeah, like a broken leg is enough of a problem for them to stick with. I don't know. They probably
I feel like they put an
needed
artificial timer there. Like there's a reason why they do it. It's because they want to sort of make her feel desperate, and I get it. It's just, I don't know, maybe choose something a bit better.
I mean, dying solely of hypothermia should be enough of a timer, but yeah.
Yeah.
They put Carter through it a lot. I wonder where they shot that exterior shot when she climbs out of the glacier.
I
It
mean,
was
they're
probably
already
just one of the ski resorts.
they're already in Canada. Snowy mountains are not far away.
Just go over to like Saskatchewan. Or no, is it Albert? Wait, which
No,
one's
Saskatchewan's
closer
too flat.
Oh, it's too flat. Which one is the one in between British Columbia, Saskatchewan? Is that Manitoba?
If you're being perfectly honest, they probably just went to like Cypress Mountain or something,
Oh,
or like
okay.
Sun Peaks in BC. Like it's just mountains where people go skiing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, one thing I wrote down, and I wanted to ask you guys about this. There's a scene where Daniel Jackson is in the command room trying to thinking about his the search. Carter activates the Stargate down in Antarctica, and apparently that triggers an earthquake. And Daniel is looking at the glass of water and it's shaking, and that gives him the idea that, hey, Carter and O'Neill are actually on Earth. Am I to believe that little Stargate down in Antarctica caused a big enough earthquake that they picked it up all the way up in Colorado?
No. That's not what you're supposed to believe. What you're supposed to believe, they said that the Stargate that they have shakes some. They've stabilized it to where it doesn't shake much, but it still shakes a little bit. That was their explanation for that. It's not the far away Stargate that's shaking. It's the one in the room, the next room over.
Yeah, because it's partially lit up, so so their gate is freaking out because it's being dialed because the calls come from inside the house, and so it's shaking a bit, and that's wait, something's happening to the Stargate. Oh, maybe they're trying to dial home from home, and it's freaking out the Stargate and making it shake a bunch, which means their Stargate would shake a bunch too. So we just instantly look up these seismographic readings from all over the world.
Yeah, that was the most unbelievable thing. It's yeah, we just caught this in our back pocket. It's fine.
It's yeah, we can just access at a moment's notice the seismographic readings from every station on Earth.
Yeah, all the geologists are just really, into posting their findings on the internet at all times.
On the 1997 internet. I guess the 98 at this point, yeah.
This wouldn't be the first time that they used GeoCities in an episode of Stargate.
God.
It's probably not too hard for U.S. military to network together and talk to some of the more prominent scientific stations out and about. Especially McMurdo Station.
Especially McMurdo.
McMurdo would be one of the first places they could easily contact.
Yeah, it's just the speed at which they get the information.
I'd like to know how would they explain this? Hey, we think there's a bunch of people in a hole roughly nearby you guys. Can you check?
Or it's just hey, have you gotten any weird shakes? I mean, at this timestamp.
I mean, there's also how do you keep this how do you keep this a secret at this point? Because you got to get the McMurdo Station people to go here, and they're gonna see that Stargate.
And of course, the team that you send to dig out the Stargate and put on a C2, I guess, because that won't fit on a C-130. That has to be one of the big boy aircraft to carry that Stargate back to the U.S.
Or
So
you put
all
it
the
on a ship.
logistics.
I think they just Area 51 the entire station.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, like McMurdo Station's a fairly famous. Is McMurdo Station only American or is it international?
I think that was the American one, and it got internationalized eventually.
Still, if you suddenly start a lot of activity in Antarctica, people are going to notice.
Yeah, like when some guys, when a bunch of guys from the military who won't tell you which part of the military they're from show up in Antarctica and start excavating
And
something
start
50 kilometers away.
Yeah, you're gonna notice, and then Russia's and China are gonna be like, "Hey, what you doing down there?"
So I will say that Russia is noticing things. They're
Mhm.
not doing anything about it yet.
Yeah. Also, there are people in America that are noticing, and this is like the start of the internet age, so things are starting to spread around on the internet, and it's coming to the attention of some special interest groups.
Yeah, we will see over time the number of people who just don't say anything about Stargate is going to grow exponentially over the course of the series.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
actually quite shocking.
at a certain point, it becomes like I understand. I know some things that happen in like later series where it's just like I don't think you can hide this anymore, dog.
Yeah, no, I mean, Stargate Atlantis is a show that exists, so that's not a
Mhm.
spoiler. And yes, that is an international team that goes to Atlantis. All the countries in the world know about. Most of the
Yeah,
governments in the world know about it by that point.
it eventually gets there.
All right. So, any last thoughts about Solitudes?
So, to the listener, if you go on the YouTube and you punch in
Uh-huh.
Stargate gags, there's a pretty good, like, 20-second clip of Carter going on a rant about how she's stuck on a glacier with MacGyver, and all they need to do is grab some shoelaces, belt buckles, and build like a nuclear reactor or something.
Yeah, it's a good outtake of Bano tapping, just digging it to Richard Dean Anderson.
Yeah.
And halfway through, he turns back to camera with a knowing look. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
wonder if there's
So,
many more outtakes like that in this show.
oh, there has to be, and most of them just don't get caught or I guess recorded
Didn't
anywhere.
get recorded because
Yeah.
this was recorded on film, wasn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, like film's expensive and you don't get tons of it, so
Yeah, like because this show is actually in HD, right? It's not in 4:3, or am I crazy? Is this an
no.
Amazon Prime bit?
This
Not anymore.
as someone who owns the DVDs, this show is not in HD. This was recorded for 480p televisions.
Sure was.
Okay.
CRT televisions. It does not look great on. I mean, it looks fine. Like I'm not saying I understand it. Like it's not the worst, but
Is it
they
16
didn't.
by 9 though, or is it 4:3?
I think it's 4:3. Naturally 4:3. You can
Let
probably
me
mess
let
with
me
it.
let me pull up this Amazon stream that I was watching earlier.
Because that's the thing. Like I'm watching it on like let's say typically a phone or a tablet. It's always going to like 16 by 9 for me, and I'm not sure if it's just cropping things or not.
I think it's 16 by 9. Like 16 by 9 televisions were a thing at that point. And if you didn't have a 16 by 9 TV, okay, yeah, this is. Let's see.
Yeah. So while you're looking that up, Justin, a little fun bit of trivia that I got off the Amazon Prime version of the episode. There's a scene where SG Command is trying to dial back to the planet the team had previously visited. During the dialing sequence, if you look at the constellations they plug into the computer, those coordinates are actually the same ones for Abydos.
Oh yeah, it's just the B-roll they were used.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a 16:9 show because it fills up my 16:9 monitor over here.
Bless
Okay.
you.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
I couldn't tell immediately because I was watching it on my main monitor, which is 21:9.
Sure. Actually, now that you mentioned it, like, what is the deal with that planet? Are they just like waiting at the gate at all times with laser guns, just like fuck anyone who comes through here?
There's, I mean,
Abydos?
I always know that the planet they were running away from. I interpret it as there's an automated defense system that just blasts everything that comes through the gate.
Yeah.
Which in this fictional setting, yeah, that's probably not a bad way of doing things.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already sort of come across that in the Thor episode, right?
Yeah.
I just like to think that there's an alien on the other side. It's like, get off my fucking lawn.
These people are like the exact polar opposite as the people we met in the Cor-ai episode, where it's like, hey, instead of running away, we're just gonna camp the gate and just shoot the first thing that moves, and we'll be safe.
I mean,
But yeah,
I guess it would work.
but yes, this is planet never mentioned again. That's the name of the planet.
See, but this is like a planet you should totally keep on speed dial, like not for anything, but just because like if this is how they react to just anything coming through the gate, you would definitely want to do this as like some sort of like trap for other people. It's like, oh yeah, we totally went through the gate. Just dial this, run behind the gate, and just have your enemies run into it after you, only to get shot up.
Yeah. Again, never mentioned again.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right, so we are now almost done with this season. Only 4 episodes left in season 1, which we will cover next time in the next installment of Chariots at the Pods. And these episodes are Tin Man, There But for the Grace of God. That's a good episode name. Politics. And then finally, Within the Serpent's Grasp. Spoiler, there is an informal 3-parter as part of this batch. Things come to a head.
Yeah, but isn't it just the start of it?
There is a 4th part.
Okay.
Doesn't happen until season 2.
That is after season 2.
Yeah. The first episode of season 2 is a banger.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yep, I remember that's true.
So episodes 18 through 21 next time. We're gonna wrap up season 1. Season 1 out of 10 of the Stargate SG-1. So this has been part of the Deep Listens podcast network collective, over whatever you call it. The Deep Listens is a podcast about video games. It's like a book club about video games, but instead of books is video games. You can find them on Deep Listens website, deeplistens.libsyn.com, I think, or the RSS feed you're listening to right now, whichever one. There are also other shows on that same site, same RSS feed, such as Off the Deep End. It's a podcast about usually old, crunchy RPGs, but sometimes not old, crunchy RPGs.
Sometimes new, less crunchy RPGs.
Yeah.
Or sometimes new, very crunchy RPGs. They did Caves of Cood at some point, didn't they?
Yeah, that was last year. They did Caves of Cood. They liked it, apparently.
And, upcoming, it's the dying gasp of BioWare, right?
Yes, in which we dance on BioWare's grave. Listen to that. Stay tuned. There's also some bonus podcasts besides this. There is a monthly sports show named Pending, I think. It's about sports. Football, basketball, F1, sumo. The first episode of that will be out by the time this airs. And it's neat. You get to hear myself, Tyler, Gino, Chris, Pete, Jeff, and just whoever talk about all manner of sports in a variety show format. You should listen to it. Also, if you subscribe to the Patreon, $3 tier, you get access to the Ochi-Sancast. It's a podcast about old anime that most of which I haven't seen and which you might not have seen. But if you have, or even if you haven't, you should join the Patreon so you can get access to this Discord where you can yell at us about how we're wrong about Stargate and video games.
I'm not wrong about video games. I might be wrong about Stargate sometimes, but video games,
Justin,
I'm right about video games.
Okay, Justin's right about video games. But several of us, whose names will not be mentioned, are wrong about video games. If you want to find out who, join the Discord by definitely $1 a month or $3 if you want the OG Songcast, which you do want. And aside from that, I, your host Adam, occasionally stream on twitch.tv/Fifth Generation Gaming. I also have a blog at was it Word? I don't even know my own blog address. Anyway, it's Fifth Generation Gaming on both WordPress and Blue Sky. I review old 32-bit console games in release order. It is a massive endeavor. Does anyone else have anything they want to say?
Eventually, Borgmaster Adam here will get to Omega Boost, and then he'll find out that all of the Fifth Generation Gaming was worth it.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. Just like one day I may actually finish Trails in the Sky second chapter, but that day is not today.
You really should. It's good.
Yeah, I should.
All right. So, any other plugs? Justin, do you stream?
I mean, I've been streaming Dark Souls 3, but I'm so close to done with that, and not really planning on starting up another one. But that's just on twitch.tv/JustinR2580, I think. Let me find out what my Twitch name is.
You see, it's hard to remember.
It's not hard to remember. Yeah, it's JustinR2580. But I don't have any of the videos up in archive for some reason. Yes, I do. Okay, they're there. If you want to listen to me and some other people talk about bullshit while I rush through Dark Souls 3 and murder things with a giant ice hammer, which has been a lot of fun.
You should stream other Souls games and Souls likes after that. Be a Code Vein streamer or something.
I'm not gonna stream Code Vein.
I don't think anyone streams Code Vein. I'm pretty sure that game inverted on itself the moment it got released.
So what I'm saying is, I should stream
listen.
Code Vein.
There is a Code Vein fan base out there, who would probably be happy to watch me play Code Vein, or at least some of them. But I'm not gonna play Code Vein.
They're all too busy drawing spicy art.
Me too.
Yeah.
The outfits in that game. Anyway, so that's it from us. And join us next time as we wrap up Stargate SG-1, the first season, in preparation for the second season, in preparation for the rest of the series.
All right.
Goodbye, Internet.